times that I just straight up just not. And you know, the crazy thing is, like, I've tried throughout the years. I literally recorded content throughout the years, but I just never posted it. And then I got a new phone, and then some of that content got lost. So I'm just like, you know? So we starting over. We starting fresh. We starting brand new. Like, hello. No, actually, or extra, no extra, but we starting brand new bitch. So I thought I would come on here and tell y'all my multitude of stories. A lot of them happened in college while I was here in college and shit like that. So we got some new content, baby. Because the fuck? Y'all out to... When I say people be trying me, when I say I be going through some bullshit with these motherfucking fake ass hoes out here, and I'm gonna tell y'all all about it, bitch. So, yeah. First of all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, because I'm basically going to start over. I have, like, 2 videos 2 years ago, but I don't know. If you want to watch them, you can watch them. I'm not going to, like, private them or anything, because, like, they're actually pretty good videos. But, yeah, I privated, like, the rest of my channel. So, like I said, we starting brand new. The fuck? But, yeah, so, please like, subscribe, comments. Tell me how much you love me. Tell me other content you want to see from me, etc., etc. You know, summer coming up too. Bitch. And I have like so many like Snapchat travel vlogs that I can really piece together and make a whole video. So, you know, your girlfriend outside love. Okay, but yeah. So we are going to start the story off. Well, the series of story times that I plan on telling y'all with the oldest. I think this is the oldest one. We started all the way back in the day. It's like 2.5, 3 years ago, damn near. And I had this bitch that I thought was my best friend, and she basically did me dirty and left me for dead. So we gonna get into it, y'all. Don't worry about this. My glasses broke and there's something poking into my nose, so I had to put these things right here to stop it from poking into my nose, and it look crazy, but I don't give a fuck because it don't hurt. The fuck, that's all that matters. What I feel. Also, I want to get into like some clothing hauls and shit like that, but like, y'all, the money ain't money in right now. I'm recovering financially from Jamaica and Miami, and I have so much debt. So much debt. So yeah, so we can't do that right now, but we gonna get into it soon though. We just need to find a sugar daddy real quick. Bet. All right, let me now show my titties on camera now. Hello. Oh, it looks so athletic right here. Okay, anyways. But yeah, so basically, like I said, this bitch that I thought was my best friend left me for motherfucking dead at a party while I was drunk. So let's get into it. Boom. About 2.5. Actually, during my first year of college, I'm pretty sure, is when I met this bitch. We gonna call her Dusty Bitch. So I met Dusty Bitch on my first year, during my first year of college. And I think it was like late fall, spring semester, early spring semester. No, late fall semester, early spring semester. I don't know what I just said. But, yeah, so I met her around that time. And we connected through the college's little, it's kind of a little like Instagram, but for the college and everything. So people can like post like, oh, if they want to make friends and stuff like that, or people can post about their clubs, etc., etc. So I posted there, and I was just like, oh, like, you know, looking for friends, etc., etc. I added my Snapchat and shit like that. And I think she was one of the ones to add me and everything. I don't really remember how we clicked and everything, but I think that's how. But yeah, so we ended up, you know, texting on the thing, and then we're just like, okay, like, you know, let's have dinner, let's have lunch, like brunch, let's meet up, like, you know, get to know each other. So we went to a dining hall, and, you know, I found her. She got there before me, so, because I'll be always late. But I walked around, and then I found her, and I'm just like, oh, hey. And she was just like, oh, hey, what's up? She was a Nigerian girl, had a little accent and everything. I was just like, yeah, I love my black girls, like, let's go, like, bloop, bloop, bloop. Like, bitch, because that's all I was really looking for, like, black friends. Like, don't play with me. Especially in the PWI. So, I was so grateful that she was black, and I'm just like, yes, you know, blah, 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 boo, doo, 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 doo. I sat down and shit like that, and we actually got along really fucking good. I was just like, oh, like, this can really be my bitch. Like, this can really be my new friend for real. So, you know, we talked and everything, you know. We got to know each other, added each other on everything, and then, you know, from there, we kind of just hung out a lot more. Like, you know, we would, like, hang out. We would get food together. We would go to parties together and shit like that. Like, except we did some adventurous stuff. We went around. We, like, hung out and stuff like that. Blah, 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 boo, 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 right? Everything was Gucci and everything. Our friendship did get a little toxic in the middle. because eventually, as you know, the goodness or like the facade starts fading away and everything, like, or as you get to know somebody, I guess they feel comfortable enough to try to start throwing little shots at you and try to come at you. And that's not my love language. I don't know about y'all toxic ass bitches that just be like calling your bitches ugly and busted and everything as a joke and shit like that. No, I don't like that. So, oh my god, now my storage already being low, ho. This always happens to me, and I literally just bought like mad like gigabytes or whatever the fuck it's called, and it's still staying slow. Fuck this fucking phone. But I'm gonna continue until it stops. And then I'm gonna delete some shit. So there were times where like she would like throw shots at me, being like, "Oh, like why do you do this? Why do you do that?" Or like do. Like I don't know. She would just say little things that I know were like meant to like hurt me and everything, and then would like brush it off and shit like that, or like like just not realize the extent of what she was saying. And me back in the day, I was a people pleaser, baby, and like she was like one of my only friends, so I was kind of codependent on her. So with that state of mind and everything, I was over here just like not wanting to like explode. It was always this feeling of not ruining the peace. It was always this feeling of like, oh, if I stand up for myself, then something terrible is gonna happen. So I always just felt so kind of like I always felt the shots in myself and everything, but I would hold the pain inside and everything, and I would just like, I would kind of just shut down when shit like that happened. Like, I'd be such in a state of shock because, like, first of all, why the fuck would you say that? Second of all, I'm a people pleaser, so I don't want to, like, upset nobody. Third of all, well, I was a people pleaser. Third of all, I don't know what the fuck to say because, bitch, like, I'm not one of those people that, like, just is malicious on the inside and always is trying to like, cuss somebody out or like, talk some shit about somebody. I do not think like that. Like, bitch, me, I exist in my beauty and I exist in my reality and I just be living my life and everything. And I barely judge. I never think that shit about people. So, especially when it comes to my friends. So when it comes to like them trying to dog on me, I don't got nothing back because bitch, that's not my mindset. My mindset is too fucking developed and too fucking enhanced and too fucking magical for that shit. Like, the fuck? But yeah, so that was happening for a little while now, and it came to a head one time when we actually ended up going to a party. And what even happened at that party? No, there was one time. This is one of the red flags. There was one time that we were going on the way to a party and shit like that, and then it was one of her friends that was driving us and everything. And we were all talking about something, and I guess I said something that she didn't want me to say because instead of being like, hey, like shh, like don't say that or nothing like that, the bitch took her nasty big hard ass hands and like cupped it over my mouth hard as shit. And I was like, girl, get your fucking hands off of me. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, girl, like, don't do that. She literally was just like that to me. I was just like, no, baby, that's not what we're gonna do. Like, mind you, this bitch had a really hard hand, and she was one of those that thought like, hitting people and shit like that was like funny and shit like that. I'm just like, bitch, don't touch me, don't hit me, don't stop. Like, don't do that. So, yeah, so this is one of the times when I actually like put my foot down, which is like, girl, don't touch me like that, the fuck? And then this bitch had the nerve to be like, oh, you really gonna talk to me like that? Like, why are you talking to me like that? Like, why would you talk to me like that? Like, like, watch your tone, blah, 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 what the fuck, whatever she said and shit like that. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, excuse me? Like, bitch, I'm over here telling you something that I don't like that you're doing, and instead you wanna get butthurt? You wanna play the victim even though I'm the one that's boundary you're crossing? Like, excuse the fuck out of me? So the entire like rest of that time and everything, like she was looking at me sideways and shit like that, and I was just like, oh, whatever. So she started being petty and started talking to the other guy and started ignoring what I was saying. So there was another guy that was next. So basically, I think it was 3 guys. So 2 were in the front, 1 was in the back, and then we were also in the back. And she was in the middle, and I was like on like near the window, right? So, bitch, so that's how it was set up. So she started talking to the guys and everything, started like throwing little shady comments and everything. And then I was talking to the guy that was next to her. And then I started talking about, I was just like, oh, like, how would you feel if this and this and that? And then the bitch came out of nowhere because she was doing the same shit. So I'm just like, oh yeah, get a taste of your own fucking medicine, hoe. And what even happened? So she was over here just like, oh, like when I was talking to the guy next to her, she was just like, listen, don't even talk about it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, stop talking about it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, shut it down, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, it's different. It's different when I do it, ho. Anyways, anywho, I don't really remember a lot about that night, but I remember like later in that night, we made up, and I think we made up because I didn't technically apologize, but I really thought it was stupid as hell. So we were like kind of like it was like awkward because we were like the first ones in there, and like, you know, I was sitting on one side, she was sitting on the other side. We were both kind of looking at each other, and I was just like, oh, where's the I miss you? And then, you know, I was a little like joking and everything, like, oh girl, this is stupid and shit like that. And then she was just like, oh, you miss me, I miss you too, whatever the fuck. And then, you know, we made up that night, and then we had a good time, right? The next time we had a big argument. Oh, I remember this shit. The next time we had a big argument, these are like the main like factors that like the red flags that I'm telling y'all about. But just know throughout the big red flags, there were some little beige flags sprinkled around with the way she would be talking to me, the tone she would always take with me, etc., etc. There was one time the bitch called me annoying. Like, excuse me? Like, there was sometimes, like, you know, I have a very comedic nature and everything. So, and we're back, hoes. I told you my camera was going to turn off. It lasted a little longer than I thought it would, because it said it was like going to turn off at like 2 minutes, and it lasted till 11 minutes. But, you know, it turned out, so I deleted some storage, and we're back. Oh, the music. It's giving me cottage vibes. It's giving me, what do I go from here? But anyways, let's get back into it, because we got to talk. Yeah, I just got so many stories. But anyways, what I even live off. Oh yeah, so I have a very comedic nature to me. So I was making like a little jokey joke with Dusty bitch, and then there was another Dusty bitch. We're gonna call her T, so we don't get the Dusty bitches confused, because there's a lot of Dusty bitches in this equation, and there's gonna be a Dusty bitch number 2 in the future. So let's just say her name was T. So Dusty bitch and T, I don't know how long they had been friends. I don't know if it was before or after me. I don't really give a fuck, but we all became kind of like a trio at some point and everything, but it was still mainly me and Dusty bitch. But T would come over sometimes, right? And there was this one time we were getting ready to go out together, and then I made a little jokey joke, and then T calls me annoying, and I was just like, ugh. But I don't really care, because it's like, bitch, who are you? But then Dusty bitch, she was just like, she like backed it up. She was just like, yeah, Elizabeth, you are annoying. My best friend, mind you, the bitch I consider my best friend for damn near 2 years. I forgot how long, like 2.5 years I think we lasted. Y'all, it's crazy. But what even happened? Oh yeah, so that was another red flag. Like I said, a bunch of beige flags were sprinkled in about the tone, the way she talked to me, the way she looked at me, the way, just like there were just red flags sometimes. Yeah, sprinkled in there. But there was one time where we literally put our friendship on an entire pause, because like we literally were just like, we shouldn't be friends for a while type shit, because this funky ass hoe wanted to try me and wanted to raise her voice at me. Like, I don't know who the fuck she was feeling that night. I really don't. But let me tell you the situation, right? We had gone out. By this time, she had a boyfriend. She got a boyfriend, right? And, you know, I was friends with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was cool. And we had went out with her boyfriend to this club and shit like that. And then in this club, he had a cousin there. So we started hanging out with the cousin and shit like that. And then they would leave a lot. First of all, the cousin was not cute. The cousin was big. The cousin was, ain't nothing wrong with being big, but I ain't into big boys. The cousin was just not my cup of tea, coffee, or motherfucking juice. Bitch, he wasn't it. He was busted to me. He was chopped to me. So, what even happened? So yeah, so I wasn't really feeling him, but you know, I was down with the vibes. You know, I could still dance with him, I could still talk to him, have fun with him, blah blah blah, whatever, right? So yeah, and I had to do that, to be honest, because she kept fucking leaving for me to go dance with her boyfriend in the middle of the dance floor. So I was just like, okay, you know, I'm just gonna make this work and shit like that. I honestly did not like that, because you know that feeling when, like, I mean, I understand she got a man now and shit like that, but it's just like, bitch, invite me out to the dance floor or something. Like, I don't know, or at least put me up with somebody that's better looking. Like, what the fuck? So, you know, I felt some type of way, but at the same time, I was just like, you know what? She got a man. She having fun with her man. Let me make it work with this nigga. Like, let me make it work with this nigga. The fuck? So, you know, and we were having fun too. Like, you know, smoking and everything. Energy was good, etc., etc. So, yeah. So that night, that same night, we, after the club and everything, we ended up going into the boyfriend's car so we could hotbox it. So we were smoking, hotboxing, whatever the fucking shit like that. And,
what even fucking happened? Were we driving around this? I don't know if we were driving. I think we might have been driving. I think we might have been driving, actually.
All right, so we hotboxed and everything, and then we started heading back to our campus, because, her boyfriend or the cousin didn't go to our campus. So they were dropping us off and everything, but the boyfriend was actually gonna sleep over Dusty Bitch's house, or her dorm. And I don't know his cousin had a ride, but he was sleeping over with me. So, but he did end up leaving. So he might have had a ride. He might have called an Uber. I don't even know. But long story short, we all ended up going back to campus and shit like that. And while we were on our way back to campus, me and the cousin, we was chopping it up. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, he was busted. I didn't want no parts of him. But we was having a good ass conversation in the back. And me, I'm naturally loud. So we was over here just talking, and we was high as fuck. The vibes were good. Like we were just talking and shit like that. And then all of a sudden, I hear this irritating, grating voice in the front of the car talking about like, Elizabeth, can you shut up? Everybody looked like, huh? Like me and the cousin were stunned. Me and the cousin looked at this bitch like, what the fuck? Even her man looked at her like that. Like, bitch, like, are you cool? Like, what the fuck? Like, so basically, I didn't even realize because I was so into our conversation. But me and the cousin were having a good ass conversation, and they literally weren't saying a word to each other. Because they had nothing to talk about. They broken up now, so that makes sense on that. But they literally had nothing to talk about. They were bored in the front board. Like, the fuck? And then we were having such a good conversation, and the bitch was jealous, and she decided to pop off on me because she's miserable and bored up in the front. Like, how you don't have nothing to talk about with your mans? Like, get it the fuck together. But yeah, so everybody was looking at her like, what the fuck, bitch? And literally it shocked me so much. She was just like, oh my God, Elizabeth, like, can you shut up? Like, I can hear you all the way up here and everything. Well, no shit, we're in the same fucking car, you dumbass cunt. But anyways, yeah, like, you're literally like less than a foot away from me. Like, no shit, you're gonna hear me. These work? Okay, so you're gonna hear me. But anyways, so she started like popping off the mouth and shit like that. We were all looking at her crazy. I was over here looking at her like I was literally shocked, and I was high, and I'm a very friendly high. I was a very friendly high that night. And also, I was still a people pleaser at this time, too. So those instincts also kicked in. And I was just like, oh my God, why are you being so mean? And she, oh, no. Because you know what happened, actually, that not only were we having a good-ass conversation, but, like, while we were still hotboxing the car, let me go back a little bit, but while we were still hotboxing the car before we started driving, we were over here talking about, like, where we were going to go and stuff like that. Like, and we were over here just like, oh, like, let's go back to the campus and shit like that. And they were just like, oh, well, whose room we're going to go to and everything. And I was just like, I'm not even gonna say as a joke, but like as a little, like, you know, like a little jokey shit like that. I was just like, oh, let's go to Merce. Oh, bleep that out. Let's go to Dusty bitch's room because her room was like the party room, and I said that because she had a big room. She had a big room. And we always had like our little functions and get-togethers in the bitch's room. So I was just like, oh, let's go to Merce. Bleep it out again. Nope. Let's go to Dusty bitch's room. Like, she got the party room. And then while we were hotboxing and shit like that, before we started driving shit like that, she looked back at me and she was just like, oh really? I have the party room? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean I have the party room and everything? And I'm just like, yeah, you have the party room. Like, you have the party room. Not thinking nothing of it because, bitch, how is that in any way supposed to be a shot? How is that in any way supposed to be a motherfucking insult? How, like, what? Yeah, I'm saying you have a party room because your room is the place where people be gathering and getting together and shit like that, and you allow that shit to happen. So why you mad at me for calling your room the party room and shit like that? Like, huh? Like, anywho, child, like, it was just too much. You already seeing some of the toxicity. It was just too much. So, but I didn't really, like, sense her tone because, like I said, I was high. So I was over here just like, yeah, here's the party room and everything. Like, still, you know, joking, laughing and everything, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when we started walking and shit like that. And then that's when they were, like, silent in the front and shit like that. Me and the cousin was chopping it up. And then that's when she was just like, oh, let's shut up and shit like that. And then after I said, actually, like, bitch, why are you being so mean? Like, what the fuck? She was just like, because you called my room the party room. Like, what do you mean my room is the party room? She started popping out the mouth because I called the bitch's room a party room. Like, huh? Bitch, you're that her? Bitch, you're that her? She acted like I fucking cursed her family lineage or something. She acted like I put a curse on her bloodline because I called her motherfucking room a party room. Wow. Yeah, okay, ho. Yeah, okay, no. Yeah, okay. Like, y'all already seeing the bullshit. After she popped up out the mouth and everything, nobody really fucking cared, to be honest. I didn't care. I was over here just like, bitch, the audacity. But I went back to talking to the cousin. We still were talking the same motherfucking volume we were talking before, ho, as we should. And the boyfriend didn't say nothing to her. That boyfriend was probably over her shit too. Like, ho, like, you tripping. Like, she was tripping. And yeah, so after we got back to the motherfucking, the cousin even told me later on, like, oh yeah, like, that shit was crazy, like, what the fuck wrong with her? I was like, bitch, I don't know, I wish I knew, like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be my best friend, like, hello. Anyway, so we got back to campus and shit like that. And me and the cousin ended up coming out like first and everything. And we started walking first because they were like taking their sweet time and shit like that. So I was just like, whatever, like I'm already home, like I'm leaving. And then the cousin was coming with me because we are just gonna smoke and chill and everything. But that's it. The fuck, the fuck, I don't want that nigga in my bed. No, I'm good. But yeah, so you know, we're just gonna go back, smoke and chill and shit like that. And then what even happened? So yeah, we walked like really in front of them and shit like that. They were like minutes behind and everything. It was like maybe a little 5, not even a 5, like a 3-minute walk. And then yeah, so me and the cousin got there and everything. And then I was holding the door. I don't know who I was holding the door for, but me and the cousin had got there and I was holding the door. I don't know if it was for him, but like they were like coming up as we were like entering the door and I was holding the door. And then Dusty bitch yelled at me. She was just like, oh, you don't have to hold the door. I was just like, bitch, I hold the door for you. And then I left. I don't know who I was holding the door for. I think I had like an alternative reason for holding the door, but I don't remember. But anyway, so me and the cousin signed in. We went upstairs and shit like that. And then we waited for them because we wanted to see like, you know, what was the plan because he's not staying the night with me. So what the fuck are y'all gonna do? So they had come up and shit like that. Me and Dusty Bitch did not speak and everything. I was still like giggling with the cousin and everything, and then the cousin and the boyfriend, they were talking and stuff like that, figuring out what the fuck to do. And then we parted ways. And then I went to my room with the cousin. She went to her room with her boyfriend. And then they came over later to like, I don't know, deliver some weed, take some weed. I don't even know what the fuck. And then Dusty Bitch came too. And then we looked at each other. We didn't say nothing. So yeah, and then they parted ways and shit like that. And then, I was like, the fuck? This friendship is a mess. So I really was deciding to cut it off right then and there because for a minute I had been feeling like I was walking on eggshells for real. So I'm just like, like, you know, this friendship's weird and stuff like that. Like this friendship shouldn't be making me feel this way. But I wasn't really at the point where I was just like, oh, like cut her off completely. But I was like, we need a break. So the next day, basically, so that night we parted off and everything. I hung out with the cousin, then he ended up leaving. I don't know where the nigga went, but he ended up leaving and shit like that. And then the next day, it was near Thanksgiving break around this time, and originally me and her had planned to like go to her house because she was gonna invite me to her family's Thanksgiving and shit like that. But I literally texted her and I was over here just like, first of all, I probably should have just waited until after Thanksgiving because I wanted some Nigerian food. Bitch, I had to eat what the school gave me. But I was trying to stand on business, y'all. I was trying to stand on business. So oh my, y'all, somebody look up what's supposed to be happening to your back when like underneath the shoulder blade is like creaking and cracking and stuff. Anywho, but what even happened? Yeah, so I was trying to stay on business, so I did. So I texted her and I was over here just like, hey girl, like, you know, like that shit was weird as fuck last night. Like, I think we should take a break from being friends and blah blah blah. And then this hoe come through and she was just like, yeah, I don't think we were meant to be friends. I was like, oh. You've been feeling this way for a minute, huh? I don't think we were meant to be friends and everything, blah blah blah. Long story short, there was more, but I forgot. But yeah. That nigga's head just blew off his fucking head. Anywho.
So what even happened? Shit, I'm a little distracted right now because Juve is supposed to be happening at UMass and I didn't get a ticket and I'm really mad as fuck right now because I feel like I'm missing out. So that's all on that, but we're not gonna dwell on that for too long. But what even happened?
Oh yeah, so after that we like literally took a break from being friends. Like we took a hot break. And I don't know how we became friends again. But we ended up like coming back together and everything. And then there was this like model thing that was going on. And then we both like walked in it and everything. We're just like, oh yeah, let's go walking in and shit like that. We were practicing together. Like I think we we ended up having a conversation. But yeah, like I don't remember. But all I remember is that we ended up being friends again. And then yeah, so boop boop, the red flags were still coming through and shit like that. There was one time when she was doing my hair for free, as she should. But she was doing my motherfucking hair and she said like I was scrolling on TikTok and I laughed at something. Like this is the little shit I'm talking about. Where like, you know, little shots were made or like little she was just trying to poke at me any type of way. Cause I was like scrolling on my TikTok, minding my business while she was doing my hair. And I scrolled at something and I laughed at it because bitch it's my FYP and I think it's motherfucking funny. So I'm finna laugh, I'm finna giggle. And this hoe was over here just like, oh girl, that's not even funny. Like, what are you laughing at? That wasn't even funny. Ho, if you don't focus on braiding my motherfucking French braids, ho, The fuck? And I'm so glad that it was so difficult for her. She was struggling with them French braids, bitch. I'm glad, yeah, because who the fuck are you talking to? Why are you over here all up in my business? Why am I over here scrolling on my FYP and you got something to say about it? That's why you have your FYP and I have mine. The fuck? So anywho, child, so that was just another thing that happened. But let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the point where our friendship was over. So it had been about like 2 years at this point, and she ended up during the spring semester. So it was no, not spring semester. During the fall semester, during the beginning of the year, on about our second year or year and a half of being friendship. So we never like lived in the same dorm and shit like that, but like, you know, we were still, you know, friendly and shit. But, you know, like I said, red flags were happening, but we're still friends. We were still friends at the time. We were still friends. Fall semester came, right? Brand new semester, brand new year. And she moved into this specific suite, right? And I moved into a suite too, but I was one floor above her. So, bitch, I was over here in my suite on I think it was the third floor. The hoe was on the second floor. So she moved into a suite that had a bunch of singles and shit like that. And this girl named, we're gonna call her Dusty Bitch number 2 because that's the other Dusty Bitch in this fucking scenario, bitch. That's the other Dusty Bitch when it came to this whole explosion, and whatever the fuck. So Dusty Bitch number 2 also ended up moving into that room, and they started to become friends, right? You know, they started talking, becoming friends and everything. But she used to tell me that she thought Dusty Bitch number 2 was a little bit weird. You know, she was a little bit like, you know, on her a lot, you know. She was kind of like obsessed. She started becoming obsessed with Dusty Bitch number 1, right? So I was over here just like, oh, you know, weird and shit like that. Like, you know, like I said, I wasn't really tapped in. I would visit her sometimes and shit like that, but like I didn't really know her. But then, you know, over time, since like, you know, Dusty Bitch number 2 kept trying to hang around Dusty Bitch number 1, like it kind of became like a trio again because like she was always around. So yeah. So we started like, you know, hanging out here and there. Not too much, but you know, sometimes, etc., etc. And I was just like, okay, you know, cool. But I kind of sensed it started becoming a duo and a trio because, like, you know, they lived together, so they had more opportunity to go places together. So they would go shopping sometimes without me, like, you know, without even inviting me. They would go places without me and shit like that. They would have dinner without me. Like I said, I live one floor up, ho. You could text me. You could text me and invite me to fucking places, but they didn't make the effort. But during the fall semester, I wasn't really tripping about it, honestly, because actually I was kind of tripping, to be honest. But at the same time, I was just like, like, you know, I feel this friendship coming to an end and shit like that, but we were still friends at the end of fall semester. Come spring semester, and them bitches are attached at the motherfucking hip. I'm talking about I never get invited to nothing no more. I always see them outside walking together. I always see them getting food together. And I'm over here being like, why didn't you invite me to get food? And she was just like, oh, it was a random invitation. It was like a really quick invitation. Like, you know, we were just talking. She was just like, let's go get food. So we just decided to walk out and everything. And I'm just like, but you can still invite me though. Like, what the fuck? So they never really made the effort to invite me that entire semester. And yeah, like that shit kept on happening. Like literally, I became a lone wolf spring semester. Like I started learning, like, you know, and you know what? I'm grateful for this experience because it taught me. This was the beginning of teaching myself about my independence and that I don't need to be codependent on nobody and that I could have fun by myself, that I could be out by myself and shit like that. That's why I be going on solo trips and shit like that. Like, bitch,
see, and that's why everything happens for a motherfucking reason. Because if I never had that character development, I probably wouldn't have felt comfortable going to Jamaica or Miami by myself. Like, you have to build that fucking independence and not dependent on nobody else, not having that like that pressure of just like, oh, you know, like clinging on to somebody. Like, no, bitch, I became a lone wolf.
And they were 2 pieces of the motherfucking pie, bitch. So I was just like, okay, I'm seeing the vibes. I'm seeing what it's giving. So this was the initiation of the end of the friendship. The day before our school's juve, our juve, I hope y'all know what a juve is if you're watching my video, but the juve is basically like a Hispanic, black, like fucking celebration where paint is thrown, booties are thrown, like everything's going on, which is why I'm mad as fuck that I didn't get to go to UMass this year, but it's fine. I'm gonna go next year. I'll go next year. All right, so, oh yeah, so the initiation of the bullshit. So the day before Juve, it was a really, really beautiful day. It was like, you know, spring had just motherfucking sprung, bitch. And it was like a cute little 70-degree day, damn near 80-degree day, right? So I asked her, because I wasn't really cool with Dusty Bitch number. Like, at this point, Dusty Bitch number 2, it was giving like we're just friends through Dusty Bitch number 1. It's not giving she was my friends at all. So I texted Dusty Bitch number 1 because she was the one that was my friends, or so I thought. And I texted her and I was like, oh, like, girl, it's about to be. No, actually, I texted her the day before Juve. So 2 days before Juve, I texted her and I was just like, oh, girl, like, let's have a picnic tomorrow, which is the day before Juve. And I was just like, let's have a picnic tomorrow. And, you know, let's go have a picnic. Let's walk around. Let's go shopping. Let's look cute. Let's walk around in the sun in our little town, right? There's nothing really to do with this funky ass town. So I was just like, let's just walk around. Let's go shopping. Let's walk around the town. Let's have a picnic, blah, blah, blah. And she said she was down with it. She said, okay, cool, right? So I'm just like, okay, cool. Picnic is a go. Next day happens. I'm texting her. She not responding. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to Burlington, to the little town center, to Five Below. Well, I don't think Five Below was open at the time. But I'm ready to go shopping, because we used to go shopping like damn near every time we got paid together. We used to go to Burlington and literally spend like $200 just on nothing. The fuck? On stuff. But I don't even know what I got. Child.
Yeah, I just finished watching Demon Slayer. Oh my god, it looks so good! Alright, but anyways, what even and Black Clover? Ah! Oh my god! Don't play with me right now.
But what is even that, y'all? She bringing a whole snack pack. The fuck? Alright, anyways. So yeah, like I said, so the day before Juve comes, the day that's supposed to be our picnic and our little, like, you know, hangout time and shit like that. It's gonna be our day. It's gonna be fun in the sun and shit like that. I'm texting her being like, hey, yo, like, I'm ready to go. Where you at? Like, you getting ready? Don't text me back. Actually, I was getting ready. I had woken up and I was just like, I'm about to get ready to go and shit like that. Texted her, no reply. I was ready like maybe 2 hours later, because I was like, I'll take my sweet time, child. And it was still early. So then I texted her like damn near 3 hours later. And I was over here just like, hey girl, like, what the fuck? Like, where the fuck are you at? No, I texted her 2 hours later and I was just like, ho, like, hello, like, I'm ready to fucking go and shit like that. And the hoe was not responding to me. And by this point, I had already been used to being a lone wolf. So I'm just like, you know what? I said, you know what, you funky ass hoes? No, wait, I forgot if the text message. Oh, like I said, I texted her and I was just like, hey girl, I'm ready to go. 2 hours later, she still hadn't texted me. I'm just like, hey girl, like, I'm ready. Like, I'm about to bounce. Like, where are you at? And shit like that. And maybe like 30 minutes or an hour after that, I don't know if I had already gone out, because like I said, I was already used to being a lone wolf. So I'm just like, bitch, I gotta have fun by myself. So I literally was ready to just like go out and be out in the sun and enjoy my day by myself. And I think that's what I ended up doing. I mean, I ended up doing that, but I don't know if I ended up doing before or after she sent the specific text message. Hold on. I think after she wasn't answering me for a while, I think I had just walked out, just like, fuck it. Like, when she texts me, then I'll answer and I'll tell her where I am. But right now, I'm not gonna like throw my whole day away because this hoe doesn't want to answer me. Like, the fuck? So I started going to the town center and everything. I started taking my little Snapchats, walking in the sun, you know, having a good ass fucking day. All of a sudden, maybe an hour after I step out and shit like that, it took this bitch 3 hours to answer me.
3 hours. 3 hours. Ah, 3 hours.
So like I said, I'm out in the sun and everything. I'm going to Burlington. I'm going shopping. I'm taking my little snaps. It's cute. It's fun. It's a good ass motherfucking time, because I always make myself have a good time no matter what the circumstances are. So yeah, like I said, an hour later, the bitch texts me back, and the bitch is like, we're going to the beach. I was like, who's going to the beach? Nobody ever invited me to the beach. Hold on. Ooh, this little pop music got me feeling something. Is that what I was feeling? Anyways, child, so what even happened? All right, so like I said, she answered me an hour after that, so 3 hours in total, bitch. And she's just like, we're going to the beach. I was like, who's going to the beach? Bitch, ain't nobody told me nothing. I ain't going to the beach. I'm here. I'm literally in the town center right now. Like, what do you mean we're going to the beach? Like, who's going to the beach? Like, nobody told me we're going to the beach. Like, who's going to the beach? So I texted that. 30 minutes later, she texted back, being like, me. Oh, bleep that out. Bleep that out, Elizabeth. Bleep that out. Bleep that out, child. Bleep that out. I keep saying these funky hoes' names. Me and Dusty bitch number 2 are going to the beach. And I said, what the fuck? I'm just like, and y'all been think to invite me? Like, and I'm not invited? Like, what? Hello? The fuck? So, I texted that, and she texted back, and she was over here just like, something about it being last minute, and we're leaving now. Talking about motherfucking last minute. Mind you, this hoe had left me. This whole conversation has spanned 4 hours at this point. Me texting her like when I woke up, me texting her when I was about to leave, her finally texting me back, and then her texting me back that they were fucking leaving. 4 hours. And within all that motherfucking time, ho, mind you, it's not even like I lived. It's not like I lived across the world from these hoes. It's not like I lived in a different town from these hoes. It's not like I lived from a different building from these hoes. I lived in the same building as these funky ass hoes. One floor up. And you tell me y'all couldn't invite me, even if it was last minute, ho, I'm right upstairs, knock on my door. Like, y'all purposely were not incorporating me or inviting me or including me in shit. So, they ended up going to the beach. And I didn't look at the snaps and everything, but I saw, on Snapchat where you can see like the picture of the snap before you even click it. I didn't click it, but I saw the picture of the snap. And it was them hoes on the beach. Posted up. Oh, child. Okay. And that was the moment that I was like, I'm done. So I fucking texted. Mind you, that's not the end of the story, baby, because there's something that happened that was a billion, thousand, 100,000 billion times worse that we gonna get into. But this was just the catalyst, so to speak. This was the catalyst of what ended up happening. So after they said that they were gonna leave right now and everything, and then she was just like, oh, it was last minute and shit like that, I left it on red because I was gonna enjoy the rest of my day. I'm not gonna let that funky ass, those funky dusty bitches affect my day. So I still lived my day, bitch. I did a little picnic with myself. The fuck? I was outside. I was doing everything I said I was gonna do, and I came back when like the sun was setting. It was almost nighttime, so I was just like, yeah, I had a full ass good ass day. So after I got back is when I really sat to analyze the situation, and I was over here just like, oh no, these hoes did not. So I texted the bitch. I texted Dusty bitch number 1, and I basically cussed the bitch out. I was over here just like, oh, that's some fake ass shit that you would go all the way to the fucking beach, even though I live 1 floor above, and even though you said you were gonna hang out with me, and you ended up going all the way to the fucking beach without me, not inviting me, didn't give a fuck about me and shit like that, and just posted up with this new bitch like you just met this bitch. They literally had known each other for 1 semester at this point, and I had known this bitch for damn near 2 years at this point. So yeah, it was reaching the 2-year mark. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, y'all didn't invite me on purpose. Like, I was going crazy. I was going in. And then later on, she ended up, like, replying to me. But I was feeling petty, and I just didn't look at it. Next day, and I didn't look at it all night, bitch. I'm just like, bitch, wallow in your motherfucking sorrows, bitch. I'm not looking at this funky shit. I'm not giving you the time of day. At that point, I was just done. So, Juve came, right? And I was over here just like, usually she would be the one to text me and like, oh, like, girl, like, let's go to the Juve. Like, what time we getting ready? What time we meeting up and shit like that. Now I was completely alone because I was just like, fuck this funky ass hoe, right? But honestly, when it came to this situation, I thought it was going to be one of those situations where even though it was so fucked up, I thought it was going to be one of those, and even though I knew we had been walking on eggshells, and even though it was pretty much done, I kind of thought in the back of my head, because I still had those people-pleasing tendencies, I was just like, oh, we're probably going to get over this, like, we're probably going to get through this, and shit like that, she's going to apologize, and then I thought it was going to be one of those situations because I was still kind of codependent, but my codependence was wearing off, And that's why when it came to Juve night and everything, I was just like, you know what? Let me get dressed up all motherfucking cute. And I'm going to go by my motherfucking self. I'm going to go by myself. And because I'm the type of person that I don't have a lot of friends, like friends to call and to be like, oh, let's go out here, let's go out there. I don't really have friends to be like, oh, girl, like, let's go here, let's go there. Like, I don't have those type of friends, like, not really. But I know everybody. I talk to everybody. And I kind of hate that for me. But, that was the situation at the time, right? So what even happened? So yeah, so I ended up going and shit like that. I ended up running into some bitches. Like, it's not even the bitches that are just like, oh, like you pass by and then like you say hi and then that's it. Like, you know, it's those bitches like, you know, even though we don't like actively text to hang out and shit like that, like if we see each other, then we're gonna have like a conversation or we're gonna have a good time. So as soon as I get there, you know, I had my cute little Dominican flag crop top and shit like that, like everything. I was my booty shorts, I was looking real good. Don't play with me. So, what even happens? Oh my god. What even happens count? I gotta put it right here or some shit. So, yeah, so I went to Juve and shit like that. It was happening literally right outside my building. And so I went there. As soon as I got there, I saw a bunch of people that I knew and shit like that. We started talking, laughing, dancing and shit like that. And this was really the beginning of my independence journey. This was really the beginning of like, I can have fun by myself. Ooh, like, the fun comes with me. The fun don't come with nobody else. I don't gotta wait for nobody to have fun. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so I was having fun in Juve, shit like that. Juve was real cool and shit like that. So, yeah, and then during Juve, I met up with this other girl that I knew at the time. Her name was, we're gonna call her S. I ran into S and everything. We started talking like, hey girl, what's up, blah, blah, blah. Like I knew her, whatever the fuck. And then Juve ended, and then Juve is not just Juve, baby. Juve is Juve plus the after parties. And the after party was gonna start like an hour after Juve, so we had an hour to kill. So, S, she didn't live on campus. She lived a little further away. So, what even happens? Bitch, I can't stop saying that. Because what even happened? Because the shit happened like 2 years ago. Like, I'm trying to remember. The fuck? Like 3 years ago. So I told S that she can come to my room and wait while you know, the after party activities were getting put together and shit like that. Like, I was like, okay, girl, you can come to my room and shit like that because she ain't got nowhere else to go. So we went to my room. We was chilling in my room. And I had forgot. I don't know if I didn't know at the time or I had just forgotten. But I didn't realize that S was friends with Dusty Bitch number 1 and Dusty Bitch number 2. Like, she knew them. So she had started texting them and everything, being like, oh, are y'all going to the after parties? And then they were just like, yeah, mind you, I didn't see these bitches all Juve day, all throughout the Juve and everything, as I fucking shouldn't, bitch. Like, don't show your face to me. And also, I hadn't responded to Dusty Bitch number 1's text message from the day before because I was still, like, petty about that. So I'm just like, yeah, no, she's not getting nothing from me. So, what even happened? My favorite phrase, what even happened? What the fuck? Did my TV just sound? So, what even happened? Oh my god, what even happened? Fuck, I'm about to make some merch with that shit or something. The fuck? Oh yeah, so S was texting with Dusty Bitch number 1 and Dusty Bitch number 2. And it was like nearing the point where like the after party was about to start. It was maybe like 15-20 minutes before the after party was gonna start. So she was texting them and she was just like, oh, they're asking us to come downstairs. And I'm just like, us? Like, and I kind of told us, I was just like, we not really getting along right now, but, you know, it was Juve after party. Everybody was trying to have a good time. So we just ended up going down and I was just like, fuck it. Like, you know, let's see if, like, you know, we could get over this awkward situation or some shit like that. So
I don't even know. I really don't know.
But I ended up going downstairs. We ended up going downstairs and everything. I was just like, you know what? Because I still thought in the back of my head it was kind of like going to be a petty like argument and shit like that, and then we'll get over it. So I went downstairs and everything, and I was ready to troll. So we got downstairs, and shit, what even happened? What even happens? So we went downstairs and shit like that, and then they let us in, and of course it was awkward because the fuck. So I was basically just talking to S the entire time, and then when Dusty Bitch number 1 tried to talk to me, I was literally being petty. I was over here, as I should be. I was over here just like, oh, did you hear something? Or did you hear something? Shit like that. So we were kind of just like doing that energy the entire night and shit like that, like blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. And you know, petty comments were thrown, etc., etc. I don't even know what was going on with Dusty Bitch number 2. I really didn't care for the hoe, so I don't know if I was talking to her or not because I honestly didn't give a fuck. But actually, I did give a fuck a little bit at the time, too, because I'm just like, even though, like, you know, we are as good as friends and everything, like, we still hung out together, like, a couple of times, and I would assume that even though I barely know you, bitch, and I don't really hold a lot, I don't really, like, expect you to, well, actually, I do expect it. I'm going back on all my words. Like, I was going to say, I don't really expect a lot of loyalty from her, But at the same time, it's just like, ho, like, we've been hanging out all this time, too. Like, we damn near became a trio and shit like that, and then you just not gonna invite me to the fucking function? Like, are you fucking dumb, bitch? But, like I said, I didn't hold as much, like, connection to her as I did with Dusty Bitch number 1. So I was really mad at Dusty Bitch number 1 because that's the bitch I consider my best friend. And this random hoe just came out of nowhere and just all of a sudden you want to turn fake. But anyway, so like I said, we were there, petty comments were thrown and everything, etc., etc. And oh yeah. So eventually the hour passed and we were about to go to the party, right? And the party was maybe like a 10-15 minute walk away from our dorm. So we decided to walk, obviously. We decided to walk. So the way it was structured, the way that we were walking, was that me and Serena, bleep. I mean, I don't really think she cares because she's not really a relevant character in the story. She was kind of just like the friend that I was with. She was my friend in the situation. And then those two bitches were doing something else. But me and S, we, the way it was structured and everything, so we all walked out together, right? We all walked out together, so you would expect us to all be together, right? No. So basically, me and S were in the front. We were in the front, we were talking and shit like that. And then Dusty Bitch number 1 and Dusty Bitch number 2 were behind us. And I was over here, so, and we were kind of like having two separate, two separate conversations. I didn't really mind, to be honest, because like I said, I wasn't really fucking with the hell at the time. So I thought that's all it was going to be, but when we got to the party, that we were going to be like lit or whatever the fuck, like, you know, I thought everything was cool, right? But then, as me and S were walking and shit like that, we heard the voices behind us getting further away and further away. And we looked back and we're just like, what the fuck? These hoes had like made like a 1 mile space between us damn near. Like they were hella far away behind us and shit like that. To the point where like if you had looked at us from like a separate angle, like if you were like a bystander like across the street walking by us and shit like that and you saw us, you would think we were in 2 separate groups. You would think we didn't know each other for shit. That's how far away they are. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are y'all so far away? And we looked back, and we were just like, why y'all doing that? Like, why y'all being fucking weird as shit? And they're just like, oh, no, go ahead. We're just talking. So me and us look at each other, and we're just like, whatever. And then we keep on going. Mind you, they were so far away that after me and us got there, we waited like a good, because even though like they were already telling us like go ahead and everything, bitch, we still came together. Bitch, hoe, funky ass bitch, you fake ass hoe. Like these are the type of friends that you can't have with you if you like ever going on a trip or some shit, because they will leave you to die. Let me not get ahead of myself though. So me and S literally got there like a good 3 minutes. I'm telling you, 3 minutes. 3 minutes might not seem like a long time, but bitch, we're walking. And we all came together. If you're 3 minutes behind us, that's a long fucking time, ho. Because why are you so fucking far away? And we came together. But anyways, they eventually ended up coming, and then we went into the party. It was like a backyard party, so we just kind of walked into the driveway, and it was like, you know, the party happening and shit like that. So I was ready to have a good time. I didn't give a fuck what was going on. So me and S, we were able to get our hands on some jungle juice, and we were sipping that shit, baby, and we was getting lit. And then I remember I was ready to like put the whole situation behind me and everything. I was ready to be like, you know, because like I said, still didn't know my worth at the time, so I was ready to give this bitch another chance. So what even happened?
Hello, baby girl. Like I'm just all y'all, but you like that now? Okay, anyways, I get some bag, y'all. Oh my god. Yeah. This pollen is making me sick as fuck. Alright, but anyways, what even happened?
So we got, like I said, we stepped in jungle juice and everything. Like I said, I was ready to put the situation behind me because didn't know my worth. People pleasing like a motherfucker. And I was ready to get back cool with this bitch. Ugh, I don't know how, baby. Don't ask me because I learned my lesson the hard way. So, me and S were drunk. Basically, we got really tipsy. We got damn near like, yeah, we was up there, right? So, I had offered some of the drink to Dusty Bitch number 1 to Dusty Bitch and Dusty Bitch number 2, kind of like as an olive branch, because me and as after we like were getting laid and everything, we were dancing on it. We was having a good time. We was getting that shit. So we were like dancing and shit like that, blah blah blah. And then they were kind of sad, like standing in the corner, really not doing nothing, just standing next to each other, like just kind of looking like they were just there type shit. So I had went up to them, and as an olive branch, I like, you know, offered them some of the jungle juice and shit like that. And they both said no, like, you know, no, we're good and shit like that, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay, fuck it, whatever. Like, y'all not ruining my good time. So keep that in mind, y'all. This story is getting way too long. That's a way, 42 minutes, and then the other 10 minutes that I recorded. Anyways, what even happens? Yeah, so keep that in mind, y'all. They were sober. They declined the jungle juice, and the bitches were in their right mind. I don't even want to say right mind because of the bullshit that they pull. But they were sober. They were not under the influence, and they had nothing, no type of excuse to excuse what the fuck they did to me. Even if they were under the influence or any of that shit, it still wouldn't have been a fucking excuse, ho. But mind you, keep in mind that they were not under the influence of nothing. Clear-minded. And they still decided to do the bullshit that I'm about to tell you they did to me. So, like I said, I was just like, okay, left them to do their vices and everything, because them bitches were like, I don't know, thing one and thing fucking two, bitch. So, or in my version, dusty bitch number one, dusty bitch number two. So they were just like bored in the corner, not doing shit, looking dusty, and hence their name. And me and S were like having a good time, getting in shit like that, dancing, vibing, whatever the fuck. Yeah, we were getting that shit. All of a sudden, woo, police come in through the motherfucking neighborhood and shit like that. The whole fucking squad came to bust the party and shut that shit down. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Karen and Joe across the street that literally hate people having fun, and especially black people having fun in this white ass town, in this PWI ass school. Ho, the fuck. But long story short, the police got called on us because it was like a backyard party, and I guess it got too loud. But bitch, why the fuck is your funky old crusty rotten milk looking ass living in a fucking college town and you don't expect college parties? Like, are you dumb? Move out. Apparently people in Bridgewater have money. Move out. This is a college town, bitch. And you over here mad because college students are doing what college students do? Are you dumb? But anyways, so what even happened? Oh yeah. So police busted it. Literally the whole squad came through. The whole squad came through because they saw some black people there, just like, oh yeah, now call the troops. Call the troops. So yeah, so literally like police officers lined across the entire street and basically shut down the party, right? So we were all exiting, we were all leaving, right? I was like kind of with Serena shit like that, near Serena shit like that. And I was like, you know, drunk, so I was kind of like talking to everybody and shit. And then I saw Dusty Bitch number one in the corner of my eye. So I kind of, Dusty Bitch number one and Dusty Bitch number two in the corner of my eye. Shit, I'm glitching. So, what even happened? Oh my god. Oh yeah, so we're walking out and shit like that. And like I told y'all, S don't live there. S doesn't go to school. I mean, she goes to school there, but she doesn't stay on campus. She stays somewhere else. So her brother ended up scooping her and picking her up, and the bitch went home. So here I am, and like I said, I think I still saw the two Dusties in my peripheral vision. So I was chilling, and then all of a sudden this nigga started talking to me. He was ugly as fuck, but I entertained it because I was tipsy. And, you know, we ended up having like a little 4 or 5 minute conversation, right? And then after, I look back because I'm ready to go home. I look to see where the Dusties are. And these bitches are nowhere to be fucking seen. That shit hurt. But that's how much passion I got. Those hoes are nowhere to be seen. Mind you, I'm still, girl, oh my god. Mind you, I'm drunk. So I'm looking around, and I'm over here thinking I'm tripping because I'm just like, oh, like, you know, I'm just over here thinking like, oh, like, where are they? You know, this and that. They probably got lost in the crowd because the crowd was still clearing out, right? But I didn't see them nowhere. And you would expect if they saw their friend who was drunk, you know, talking to a random nigga and shit like that. Some of them niggas didn't even go there. The fuck? But talking to a random man and everything, they were like, you know, stick around and everything, or just be like, oh, like, you know, make themselves known at least. Bitch, after I finish talking to that funky nigga, I look around. Them hoes are nowhere to be seen. And I'm just like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. Let me wait until it clears out a little bit more, right? And also, I'm drunk, and also I'm blind. So I can really see. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? Maybe I just can't see them, right? So I wait for the crowd to clear and everything. Mind you, nobody's calling my name. Nobody's doing nothing. So I'm just waiting for the crowd to clear because nobody's insinuating to me, like, bitch, nobody's there for me. Like, what? Where my people at? So I'm waiting out. I'm waiting until the entire place clears, right? The entire place cleared, y'all. And those hoes are nowhere to be seen. Those hoes are gone. Those hoes were in their beds. Bro, I still can't. I still cannot believe this bullshit. I'm looking around and I'm literally so fucking confused. I'm just like, oh no, like where are they? I thought I was tripping. I'm just like, am I just not seeing them? Like what's going on? And then some fucking bullshit happened too. Some movie shit happened because I pulled out my phone because I was gonna call one of the hoes and be like, yeah, where you at? Like, you know, I don't see y'all no more. Still thinking that they're still at the party and I just don't see them. Even though the whole party cleared out, but like I don't know if they were like, you know, in the crowd, like I don't know where they was, bitch. But I was literally about to call them. I was about to call this bitch number one. As soon as I was about to click the call button, boom, my phone dies. I was like, oh hell nah, I know you fucking lying. I know you fucking lying. So I was just like, damn. So I'm just like, now there's no way to make contact with these bitches. Now, and I'm still looking around. I'm still thinking that I'm missing them some way, somehow. But the crowd starts growing sparser and sparser. And they are not there. And I'm just like, these hoes left. I'm like, these hoes left me here. These hoes left me here drunk, under the influence, with some random ass niggas. Basically to fucking die. These hoes left me here, did not give a fuck about my life. What? And I'm walking, and I'm over here maybe thinking like, oh, maybe they ran into a friend and they're just a little bit ahead or some shit like that. I'm still trying to excuse these hoes' behavior in my head because I was such a people pleaser and I didn't even know what the fuck was going on and I didn't know what the fuck to think and I was still trying to see the best in the situation and I was still trying to see the best in these hoes. So I was over here just like, oh, you know, maybe I'm gonna like run into them like, you know, on my way. So even though that shouldn't even be the fucking case because bitch, well, why am I walking? Y'all should be here for me. Y'all should be here for me. Next to me. Like what? So I started walking, right? And mind you, I'm by myself. The crowd has basically cleared. The nigga that I was talking to, he had his like own group and shit like that. So they kind of like was doing their shit and everything. And I just started walking like kind of like with them, but not really. And I was like, I was stumbling. Because I was still fucking drunk. But my tipsiness was like, you know, minimizing because I was beginning to see the gravity of the situation. I was beginning to see what the fuck was actually going down, but I still couldn't see clearly. Now the rain wasn't gone yet. So basically, what even happened? So yeah, I started walking and shit like that. And as I'm walking and I'm stumbling, I'm realizing, I'm just like, there's no fucking way these hoes really left me. Mind you, once again, these bitches were sober. They didn't stumble off in a drunken giggle or whatever the fuck. These bitches were sober. I offered them jungle juice. They declined the jungle juice. They were sober, clear-minded, and left the motherfucking queen to die in this fucking party these bitches made the conscious decision, clear-minded, sober-minded decision to see the way I was stumbling and talking to random niggas and shit like that. Like I said, S was gone. S don't live there, and they know S don't live there. See me in that state, turn around, and walk away from me. Walk back to the building that we all fucking lived in, and go the fuck to bed. And let me just continue because I'm getting ahead of myself. So like I said, I'm walking and shit like that. People that I don't even know are over here asking me, why are you by yourself? Like, where's your group? Where are your friends at? Da, da, da. And I'm over here like, I'm wondering the same motherfucking thing. I'm wondering the same thing. Where are they? I don't know. They should be here, but they're not. What? But like literally bitches, like strangers are more concerned about my life than these bitches. Than the bitch that I consider my best friend for 2 fucking years. Ain't that crazy? Life is crazy, y'all. Life is crazy. So I ended up walking damn near all the way back, and like when I was almost back and shit like that. First of all, luckily enough, the party was only 15 minutes away because imagine if we were in a whole other town, in a whole other city, in a whole other country. The fuck? Those are the type of bitches that leave you to die. Those are the type of bitches whose friends leave them and then they end up missing. They end up found dead. Like what the fuck? Luckily, I was right next to my school, but even so, bitch, like, first of all, you still never leave one of your bitches alone when they're drunk and everything, no matter what y'all got going on. What the fuck? That shows she never cared about my life. She never cared about my life. And on top of that, that party was full of niggas that we didn't even know. Half of those niggas was from like different schools. So damn, like no consideration for nothing. No consideration for my livelihood at all. So anyways, as I was saying, I'm almost there and shit like that. I'm like maybe 5-7 minutes away. And what even happened? I ran into this group. I ran into this girl that I used to know that she used to be here and shit like that. And we used to like, you know, be cool and shit like that. And she had like a group with her. So I went to her and shit like that. I told her the situation. And I started hanging out with her in the group and shit like that. Did I tell her the situation? No, I don't think I told her the situation actually, because I don't think I really accepted the situation myself. So I don't think I told her. But I think I hinted at it because I think she asked me why I was by myself, and I was just like, oh, like, I think these hoes love me, but I don't know because my phone is dead. Remember, my phone's dead too. So I'm over here trying to like manipulate the situation. I'm trying to gaslight myself, and I'm trying to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe they really had to go, but like, I don't know what I really don't know what I was thinking. No, I really don't know. But I was over here, but I was like, but maybe like, you know, they're trying to call me right now. They're trying to text me. They're trying to ask me where I am and shit like that, and I just can't see it because my phone's dead. I'm still trying to excuse the situation. So I start hanging out with this group and shit like that. We end up going back to my building. We end up chilling there for like an hour. And then I finally end up going back to my room and shit like that. And then by then, I'm pretty much sober. And I'm so ready to like charge my phone and turn it on. To at the very least see, because by this time, I'm already at my dorm. So I know these bitches weren't waiting for me. No way, no how. Nowhere on the path and shit like that. No, these bitches went home. These bitches left me to die. But I'm still over here just like, you know what? Maybe they texted me to make sure that I got home safe. So I charged my phone. I charged my phone. Mind you, this had been like 1 to 2 hours after the situation happened because I was hanging out with that group. So it's kind of like they, on top of like leaving me, they also had extra time to see, to show me that they gave a fuck about me and my livelihood. Because imagine you go out with somebody, and even if you guys are beefing and everything, y'all were friends for 2 years, and then you gonna leave me in that situation by myself. By myself, make the intuitive decision to leave me by myself and go the fuck home. And I'm over here thinking, at the very least, this hoe texted me to make sure I made it back safe and sound and alive. Oh, I turned on my phone. Not a message to be seen, not a notification to be heard of. I was like, ain't no motherfucking, on top of leaving me, that was already the motherfucking straw on the camel's fucking back. But you not even gonna check to make sure I made it? This bitch don't care about me. These are the type of bitches that I keep forgetting that girl's name. But you remember the girl that went to Mexico with her friends, and her friends ended up killing her? It's giving that type of friend. It's giving that type of friends. So I was like, oh my God. So like I said, I charged it. No messages from nobody. I was literally shocked. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this funky asshole. But I was already walking on, like I said, the friendship was already on eggshells. I was already pretty much done after the beach thing. But I was so kind of like, you know, in my head, I'm just like, okay, there's still a chance we're going to get back together. Bitch, never again. After that shit happened, I saw that bitch's true colors, and it literally was like a, oh my God, it was like a explosion of realization. It was like an explosion of relief. I was just like, now I finally know. Now I finally got this bitch's true colors. Now I know she doesn't value me. She doesn't value my life. She doesn't value my friendship. Low-key spitting. And I'm fucking done. Like, that was like the cherry on top of the already big, voluptuous, rich-ass cake telling me to cut this bitch off. So I cussed that hoe out. I think we had a group chat or something. I cussed the hoes out in the group chat. And what I was thinking about before is that I don't remember if I blocked them or if I left and then blocked them. But if I left the group chat, I just found out by my friends recently because I just crashed out on them recently. Because I had cussed them out and then I left the group chat. And I was confused because they were acting confused about what was wrong and shit like that. But it turns out that the reason, like when I cussed them out, all my reasonings and shit like that, literally all my messages that were ever in the group chat got deleted when I left. So they never even saw the message of me like crashing out on why I was mad and everything. So I'm trying to decide, do those hoes see me cussing them out? I don't remember if I blocked them or if I left the chat. I think No. I think I texted Dusty bitch number 1 because I finally opened her message, and then I saw the dumb fucking excuse that she said about not inviting me to the beach and shit like that. Girl, I don't give a fuck. I cussed that bitch out, and then I blocked her. And then I blocked the other hoe too because bitch, I don't care about you. The fuck. So that was that on that, and y'all, there's more. There's more. This shit already too long though, but I'm gonna try to make this like maybe 5 more minutes. So basically, that was like everything. Like that was everything I needed. Like I was done. There was nothing holding me to that shit no more. Like I was done with that hoe. And that's when I started like realizing my self-worth and shit like that, and being like, a friend should never treat me like that. A friend should never make me feel the way that bitch made me feel the damn near our entire friendship. I cut that hoe off. But you know, inside me, since this was like brand new to me, like cutting bitches off and like, you know, standing on business and like all that shit, I still was like, even though I cut the bitch off, blocked her, cussed her out, shit like that, in the back of my head, I still like felt guilty because I'm just like, did I do something wrong? How? No, you did not. Beautiful, oh my god, beautiful queen, my soft, beautiful queen. Like I used to be so soft and everything because yeah, I didn't really run into bitches like that for real. So I was like, did I do something wrong? Trying to blame myself and shit like that. Baby, you didn't do nothing wrong. You didn't do nothing wrong but be a bad bitch and be a trusting, beautiful, kind-hearted, wholesome queen that got taken advantage of and fucking done dirty by some dusty-ass creatures. I love you. But anyways, so what even happened? Yeah, so like I said, I felt that guilty feeling in my stomach and everything. It was basically the grieving process. And I was over here just like feeling guilty. I was just like, did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? But over the week and everything after the situation happened, I started to find my anger. The sadness started turning into anger. I'm just like, why the fuck am I sad? These hoes are the ones that did me dirty. These hoes are the ones that need to feel like shit. The fuck? Not me. So during that week, before another interaction happened, during the week before that, like after the situation happened and shit like that, I was telling everybody and they mama about that story. I was so done with this hoe and everything. I knew I was done with the hoe too. I was just in the grieving process of like feeling guilty and shit like that, but I knew I was done with the hoe. I was telling everybody how dirty this bitch did me. And you know, everybody was just like, oh my god, that shit fucked up, this and that. Like, yo, I was like, I know, right? And the more I started telling people about that story, the more I found my anger, and the more I was just like, yeah, I mean, I already knew this was a fucked up situation, but yeah, it is really fucked up. Now I'm over here just like, now there's no excuse. And I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was just like, oh yeah, these hoes are just fucking crazy. These hoes are just fucking, don't care about my life. These hoes were never real ass bitches. We're never real ass bitches. We're always looking for my downfall. So basically, yeah, during the week I was telling everybody that, and I remember when I told one person specifically is when I started feeling that motherfucking anger. So by the time that I ran into that bitch again, I didn't see her for a whole fucking week, but by the time that I ran into that bitch again, I found my anger. So, and I wasn't even looking for the bitch. I honestly was planning to never speak to the bitch again because I actually felt so relieved that instead of feeling that sadness and that guilt, I felt that anger. That's when I was really able to let go of that shit because I'm just like, yeah, no, like that shit was never for me. That shit was, I was always above this situation. Like, cut that shit off. Like, it was always toxic. And I finally realized that, so I didn't have to like live with being like, oh my god, but like, what did I do? Bitch, you didn't do nothing wrong. And I was ready to move on with my life being a bad bitch. And with this new sense of like, you know, this new sense of independence and this new sense of staying on business and this new sense of just like I know my worth now, self-worth. So after that, like I said, it came to the point where I ran into the bitch again, and like I said, I wasn't looking for her. I was talking to somebody at the front desk and shit like that, who was my friend. She was working, and like I said, we lived in the same building. So I was talking to my friend, and all of a sudden, I hear this irritating, grating voice behind me. And I heard, Elizabeth, can we talk? And I recognized the voice immediately. Because, bitch, she's the only one I know that has a fake Nigerian accent like that. I was like, I turned around. I saw this funky hoe. I looked at my friend because I actually had just finished telling my friend about that situation too. So she was looking at me, I was looking at her, and I was like, and I looked back at Dusty bitch number 1, and I said, sure. Mind you, Dusty bitch number 2 was with her because they're always fucking together, bitch. They were probably fucking. They're probably sucking each other's pussies. I don't fucking care. But I said sure. So me and her ended up going to a conference room that was on the same floor. And I really thought this bitch was gonna beg on her knees, on her ashy ass knees, and apologize to me. I really thought she was gonna beg for my forgiveness. I thought she was gonna give me like a reasonable explanation for why she left me. Like, I thought something was gonna happen. Tell me why we get in this motherfucking room. Hold on. Alright, we're back. So, where did I even leave off? Oh yeah, so we went to the conference room. And like I said, I thought she was going to be groveling on her knees and shit like that. Give me something, you know? Tell me why the hoe started popping off at me. Tell me why the hoe, because I was telling my stories as I motherfucking should, and I guess I got back to the bitch. And tell me why this hoe, instead of owning up to what the fuck type of dirty shit she did to me, what type of grimy shit she did to me, this hoe was over here just like, stop telling everybody about me. Like, we're not friends anymore. Like, stop talking about me. Stop telling people the story. Like, da-da-da. And I was just like, oh, hell. First of all, before we even started talking, I was over here I was about to like say something shit like that. She was just like, I'm gonna go first. And I'm just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna let you go first because I want to hear what you got to say, but don't ever announce yourself like that to me again, bitch. But, and that's when she started popping off. So after that, I literally was just like, bitch, you literally left me by myself. You're supposed to be my best friend. Like, I started going crazy. We started going crazy on each other, bitch. And then it ended up with her literally like storming out. Because she couldn't take the heat, so get out the fucking kitchen, bitch. The fuck? So that was basically, she walked away and shit like that, and I was just like, yeah, walk away, bitch, and shit like that. And she met up with Barbara and shit like that, and they ended up walking away, and I was just like, yeah. And then I went back to my motherfucking friend and I was just like, this don't really have the audacity to pop off at me, like, what the fuck? So that was like that interaction and shit like that. And there was one more interaction that happened after that, y'all. One more interaction that happened after that. And it was initiated by me because as much as I was done with this bitch and everything, I truly wanted to know. I truly wanted to have a sit-down conversation on why she did that shit. Because we was friends for 2 fucking years, bitch. I just want to know I want to know the thought process behind leaving me at a party by myself to basically die. And not even checking out. Like, it was already enough, but the least you could have done to even like have given me an olive branch of hope is by checking on me when you got back and being like, oh, like, no, by checking on me to see if I got back. These bitches, and I still can't get over that shit, these bitches literally walked that 15 minutes back, sober-minded, knowing that I'm there at that party by myself, walked all the way back, not giving a fuck, went back to their room not giving a fuck, took off their little party clothes, took off their makeup and shit like that, did their little night routine, got in bed and went to sleep, not giving a fuck about me. Crazy. So I just wanted to know the thought process behind it. So I ended up going to the room. Dusty bitch number 2 was the one that let me in. I really didn't fucking care about that hoe. I am not going to lie. But honestly, I probably should have talked to her because she's the only one that probably was the one that was able to talk to me. Because bitch, as soon as I went to Dusty bitch number 1's room and shit like that, knocked on her door, it popped off again. I literally was just like, I'm here to talk. Let's go to the study room and let's talk. Let's just talk. And then this bitch was over here just like, oh my God, like, get out of my room. Like, why are you here? Like, you know, like, am I your mom? Am I your mom or something? Like, why are you talking like I'm your mom? Blah, blah, blah. I was just like, no, you're not my mom, but you're supposed to be my fucking friend. Like, girl, we were just going crazy. And I kept telling her, like, let's go to the fucking room and shit like that. And she ended up walking out the room and shit like that. And here I am thinking that she's going to go to the study room. The way that the outside of her room was structured, it was like the elevators right there, and then right next to the elevator are the stairs, and then right across from the stairs is the study room. So the study room and the stairs are right across from each other. So I'm over here thinking that she's about to bust that right into the study room. Tell me why she busts that left and goes down the stairs and gets an RA. And I was just like, oh, you scary ass bitch. Oh, now you don't want to talk, right? Now you don't want to, because that hoe knows she did some bullshit. She did some shit that she hopes she burns in hell for. I don't even believe in, like, God and shit like that, but I hope she burns in the deepest pits of whatever the fuck is out there. So I'm over here waiting in the fucking, what is it called? I'm over here just sitting in the study room. I'm waiting for the RA because at the end of the day, I ain't do shit wrong. And at the end of the day, I'm thinking that the RA is going to be a mediator in our conversation. So I was just ready to sit down because I'm not running away from shit. What am I running away from? So the RA eventually comes and shit like that. She ends up sending Dusty bitch number 1 back into her room. She ends up sitting in the study room with me, and basically she asked me to explain the entire situation. I explained it, and she was just like, "Damn, that's fucked up." Mind you, the RA was my bitch at the time. time. Like she was my bitch. She graduated, but she was my bitch. So when I was talking to her, we was talking like, girl, like that shit's crazy, like da 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 da. Like I know it's crazy. That's why I'm here. Like the fuck. So she said that she was gonna talk to Dusty Bitch number 1, and then like kind of get back to us about a mediation. But it was like already nearing the end of the year, so we never really got to do that. We never got the mediation and shit like that, and that's kind of where it ended up. I think that RA did end up telling me like something about what she said, but I literally forgot. But yeah, that's basically where that shit ended. And we ain't talked to this motherfucking day. Literally, I hadn't seen her all year, but last semester, I hadn't seen her since that point, to be honest. But then last semester, I saw her like maybe 1 or 2 times, like at the laundry room, because there were like 2 times where I decided to do laundry extra early, like at 6 a.m., like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And that hoe was there both times. And I ain't say shit to that hoe. That hoe ain't say shit back to me. Let's keep it that way. But yeah, y'all. That's that on that. Bitch, watch who you give your energy to. Watch who you're really friends with, because bitches don't really care about you at the end of the day, for real. They don't care about, if you feel something off, if you feel like your energy's off in the friendship, bitch, that's your body telling you, that's the universe telling you it's time to fucking go. This ain't meant for you. And it took me 2 years to realize that. And now that I went through that fucking 2-year-long fucking battle, bitch, it turned me into the strongest soldier, bitch. I cut bitches off like this now. I cut bitches off like butter. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. The amount of times I popped off on my current friends right now, like, don't play with me right now. Like, I'd be ready to cut bitches off or whatever. Like, don't play with me. But yeah, y'all. That was my story about the fakest, funkiest bitch that left me to die. And yeah, I hope you learned something from this. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Snapchat. Follow me on, what else is there? OnlyFans? No, I'm playing. Not really though. Follow me. Just follow me on everything. Subscribe to the YouTube. You better like this video and comment ho. Period. And yeah. Thank y'all for watching. This video is an hour and 10 minutes. And then on top of the 11 minutes I already filmed, an hour and 20 minutes, ho. And I have to edit this. I haven't edited it in so long. I'm so excited though. I can't wait for y'all to see this. But yeah, a bitch is back. I got plenty of stories for y'all. And I know I always say that, but a bitch is really back. A bitch is really back. A bitch is really back. I'm going to film at least once or twice a week. Do not play with me. Mwah. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye. Ooh.